New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
What is up, everybody? Hope y'all having a great hump day. Happy Wednesday, man. Hope everybody is enjoying themselves today, man. Don't forget to get some Cooking Folk apron. I got my man. I got the chef wearing them himself, Mr. Lewis. And don't forget our good buddies at W Energy Drink. Like my man Color says, all smash, no crash. This Saturday, I'm going to be doing another flavor, and we're going to do some more wrestling talk. Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Show up. If you're into wrestling, old school wrestling, be there Saturday at 8 o'clock. And, of course, Friday is going to be the open panel. We have El Capitan coming on late night. We have Color and Ali in the morning. I'm going to be substituting for Ali because he is going to be out for the rest of the week. Kahari is coming back soon. And, of course, you got yours truly and Lewis in the evenings with Smoke Lounge and Drive Times. And then last but not least, Backroom Collections with artwork, visors for your mini helmets. Use the hashtag code TFTG for 10% off your purchase. And the same thing with W. There's a link down below. If you click on that, the discount automatically comes off. So click on the link below. I recommend getting the starter pack so you can find out which flavor is good for you. But anyway, as no further ado, we have a great guest in the back, one of the founding fathers of Dolphins YouTube. Not Lewis, but he's coming on after me. What's going on, Lewis? How you doing, brother?
Hey, it's good. It's a great day, Shake. Glad to be here with you. And I am absolutely just – I thought you were giving me the intro and then you weren't talking about it. But I do agree. This guy that's coming up that we have the privilege to talk to for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
He is definitely a pillar in the community. So I think everybody will enjoy it.
And I appreciate him making time for us. And here it is. Without further ado, the one, the only, Dougly Durong. What's going on, my brother? Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, going on, man.
Honored to be on. This is exciting.
That's what's up, man. So I remember you. I remember the first video I saw of you was the Minka Fitzpatrick draft video, the reaction video when he got drafted. So that tells you how far back I watched you. It doesn't seem like decades ago now.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
But no. Speaking of which, I think the year after that, we drafted this guy, Christian Wilkins, and he's on his. What do you think of his situation? What do you think is a fair value for him? And should we? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much priority are you putting on this?
I'll answer the last question first. Scale 1 to 10, I would probably say around 7. It's a priority, but it's not a necessity right now because we can franchise tag him. And he's getting 10 million this year, and if we franchise tag him, he gets 20 million next year. So then you look at it, we signed him to 2 years, 15 million a year. That's not too bad. But here's my thing about Christian Wilkins. I want him to stay on the team. I love him. I love when we drafted him. Not a lot of people liked when we drafted him. A lot of people wanted Haskins. A lot of people wanted a quarterback. Oh my God, why are you taking Christian Wilkins? A lot of people were upset about that. I remember that live stream. But he is a very, very good run stopper. Like, he is top 5, maybe even like top 2 run stopping defensive tackle in the NFL. But when it comes to his pass rush, it's meh, it's not great. So if he wants to get paid in that $19 to $20 million a year range, I don't know if he's going to get it, because statistically and where he ranks among those defensive tackles that are up there that are getting that, $20-21 million a year, he's not there. He's more in the range of like that 15 to like $18 million a year range. And if he's like, that's not enough for me, then he might get traded. If they, in my personal opinion, and I don't want this to happen, but if they can't come to some type of agreement, he might get traded before the trade deadline, because he is still very good, and you can get at least a 2nd-round pick for him. So that might happen, but I hope that they can come to some compensation, some type of agreement, and keep him on the team for the next 3 years. But we'll see.
And you know what? I want to touch on one thing, then I'll let you cook, Lewis. The one thing that's very interesting is the fact that you said we could get. You expect maybe at the most, at the best, is the 2nd round. So that tells you right there, if you can't get a 1st-round draft for him, that he's not that $20 million defensive tackle. Because at the end of the day, if you was to say at the end when Aaron Donald was on his 5th year, hey, I'm trading Aaron Donald, people will give you the moon and stars for him.
Mm-hmm. Like you could possibly get like a late first, from like 25 to like 32, but you're not going to get like top 20 pick for Christian Wilkins. It's just his run stopping is so high, but his pass, shedding and stuff is so low that the compensation is just not there.
What do you think about the people that say his leadership and he's kind of like the straw that stirs the drink? Does that raise the value a little bit?
Yeah, it definitely does. That's where like you throw in that like late first area, because he's a great personality, he's a great teammate, great locker room guy, and that does take on some order when it comes to NFL players, because if you're a cancer in that locker room, you're not going to make the team. And you can see a lot of used to be stars not in the NFL anymore because they were that type of cancer. And you look at Chosen, all of a sudden he's getting his shot to prove that he's not that head case that the rumors have. So yeah, being a good locker room guy and a good leader, it's important, especially in the NFL.
Well, I kind of agree with Doug. See, and I'm glad you brought that point up, because DeForest Buckner, when he got traded from San Francisco to Indianapolis, the only reason he garnered a 1st-round pick, in my opinion, he was coming off 11.5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, Doug, the sacks are a big deal. I know as a fan base, we want to say Christian's a great guy. He's a locker room guy. And I get it. I love Christian Wilkins. But I can't pay you just because you're a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come down to on the field. And you're great against the run, but a run stuffer doesn't get 20 million. A run stuffer, to your point, gets around 15 to 17. Right?
Yeah, you have to be that well-rounded defensive tackle.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
To answer Michael's question, I see him saying not getting traded for a 2nd, especially if he's not under contract. Jarvis Landry wasn't under contract. We tagged him, traded him, got a 2nd. So, just because actually
that was a 4th.
No, it was it a 4th? It could have sworn.
Yeah, it was a 4th. It was a 4th.
But
4th. I remember
it's actually better to not have him under contract, essentially, because then the team he goes to can get to make their own contract. So that's why, at the trade deadline, being that this is his last year in his contract, you could probably get a 2nd for him, because there's no connection to the new team. That is the reason, I know I'm done with Dalvin Cook, but that is the reason Dalvin Cook didn't get traded in March, is because that 11 million was going to come with him to the new team. Whereas with Christian Wilkins, when he gets traded, that 10 million is not going with him, because we already paid him up to week whatever, I think it's 7 now is the trade deadline. So it actually makes it more enticing, because he's free. You don't have to compete in free agency. You got him, and then you can give him your contract extension. So it's actually better that it's his last year on his contract. You can even franchise tag him the new team that gets him.
Yeah,
good sense, man.
It does make perfect sense. I'm glad. A lot of us say the same thing, but we don't have the presence of Doug. So now that Doug said it, maybe people will be listening. But you touched on Dalvin Cook, Doug, and in my opinion, and this is just opinion based. What we do is opinions.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook for me is more of a want. He's not a need, because I think a lot of people in the fan base, they try to tell me, because I have very high hopes for this team, even currently constructed. I think this is a Super Bowl roster. I think without question we should be winning the division, and I do believe we will be hosting playoff games here in Miami, right? But a lot of people make it seem like it's Dalvin or bust. Where do you sit, Doug, with Dalvin Cook? Where do you sit with the running back room currently constructed? Like, what's the comfort level? How do you think we should take this situation moving forward?
If we don't get Dalvin Cook, I'm fine with it. As long as he doesn't go to the Jets or the Patriots. Like, say he goes to Dallas, say he goes back to Minnesota, say he goes anywhere else, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm all right, especially if he goes somewhere and he gets a $9 million contract. I'm more than fine with that. All right, yeah, we were never going to give you $9 million. But coming to Miami, I'd absolutely be ecstatic if he came to Miami. He's that type of player. If you look at his film, not only is he's a good running back, but he catches. He's a very good, seam route runner. I watched I don't know who the Vikings were playing, but he ran up the sideline. Cousins dropped it right in the breadbasket. He caught it with a defender on his back. Like, it was like he was a receiver out there. He makes the team better, right? We're right there. And there's certain pieces we need to push us over to get us where we need to be. I think the running back room's fine, right? Raheem Mostert, Devon A-Chain, Jeff Wilson. Those are your guys. Those are your 3 starting guys. I think it's fine with those guys. But you guys got to remember, at one point, Raheem Mostert got injured. At one point, Jeff Wilson got injured. Savon Ahmed was taking carries at some point. And we look at the yards per carry, but if you look at the full roster or the full schedule, there was yards per carry were high in certain games, and that's what brought that average up. There was a lot of games they were getting like 2-point-something yards per carry. So the addition of Dalvin Cook also gives us that depth, but it also gives us that running at the end of the season. Someone asked me in comment of the day, now that we don't have Gesicki, who's our red zone target? Who are we going to throw to in the red zone? And I gave him a list of, you got Tyler Kraft, who's 6'6", Sorbert, who's 6'5", and Smythe, who's 6'6". But I don't want to have that mentality getting into the red zone. I want to run the ball. That's where Dalvin Cook comes in. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be able to do that thing. But what we also need to realize, and I'm hearing a lot of things from certain sources and this and that, what we need to realize is, if there's no middle ground, he's not a Dolphin. The Dolphins aren't going to go. A lot of people are like, oh, we have players we need to re-sign, or, oh, there's guys we got to get. First off, we re-sign our players, the 4 guys that need to, which is Christian Wilkins, Steeler, Connor Williams, and Robert Hunt. We create $14 million in cap space by re-signing those 4 guys. So we'll be at about $26 million in cap space. There's no problem there. Then you can go and get your guys, right? You can go out and get Akeem Hicks, depth at defensive tackle. You can go out and get Quan Alexander, some depth at linebacker. That might only cost you about $4 million to get those 2 guys, because why are they still available? Do a lot of everything. But to me, we're on that cusp. And you add that been injured but didn't miss a game, and been injured for a while with that shoulder, and had 4 straight 1,100 plus rushing yards. You add that to this team, who he said he's fine with, sharing carries. The offense is unstoppable. So it's like, really trying to put us over the top is Dalvin Cook. But again, if his price doesn't come down and the Dolphins don't go up a little, then, he's not a Dolphin. It is what it is.
Hey, real quickly though, I'm going to bring up another pillar of the Mount Rushmore of the Dolphin YouTube community, and that is the one, the only, Mr. Great One DeVore.
What's up, bud?
Hey, I don't mean to crash the party. Dudley was doing such a wonderful job. I'm just listening to what you're saying right now. So please continue. Pretend like I'm not even here.
I was done. I'd love to have him. I will say this though: if the Jets offer him, say like $8 million, and the Dolphins offer him $7 million, he's going to Miami. Like, if it's $1 million off, he's a Dolphin. He wants to come here. But if the Jets offer him $9 million and we're sitting there at 6, he's a Jet, which would suck. But the Dolphins aren't going that high on him.
No.
Well,
and let me ask you.
I'm sorry, Shay.
Well,
I was just gonna ask then. because I think there's a difference between just having interest in a player and having an actual contract offer to a player. I believe Miami is the only team that has an official offer that we know there's an offer out there on the table for him. And I think the Jets, yes, have had conversations with his representation. I think they've had conversations with Dalvin Cook, right? But I don't think there's no offer. In my opinion, I think the organization, Chris Greer and the guys, they're doing the right job. If Dalvin Cook or his representation can't come and sit across the table with Chris Greer and say, look, the Jets have $7 million on the table, and show them that this is what we're working with. The rumors are, and this is pure speculation, but rumors are Dalvin Cook was kind of upset with or disrespected with the offer from Miami. I get it. It might be disrespectful, but at the same time, it's the business. And if there's not another offer out there, why should Miami have to move up the price? Because that's what I hear a lot of people say. Well, just maybe another $1 million gets it done, or $2 million get it done with incentives, or what. And I get that. But why do we need to do that because it feels like to me, and I don't know how you gentlemen feel, it just feels if we did do that at this point, we're bidding against ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
Well, as soon as he got cut, which I think was like June 18th, give or take, all the teams that wanted him gave him a contract. So he's had the contracts in front of him, and he has an idea of what his worth is as of right now, and that's why he hasn't re-signed yet. No one has came at him and said, we'll give you $8 million right now to play, a 3-year, $32 million, so-and-so guaranteed. Yeah. No one has thrown that at him yet, because if they did, he would have signed. So, you hear, and that's why I made that video the other day. You hear someone saying, oh, the Jets, Mike Florio, the Jets are gaining momentum. That video was from 9 days ago, and then the Jets media reported it like a few days. Like, it's nothing. It's a lot of nothing. Even like Jeff Darlington said, the GMs right now aren't doing anything. They're home. They're on vacation. Everyone's on vacation. Once we get closer to training camp, the rookies are going to report Tuesday. Then all of a sudden you'll start to get some. We have till about the 25th. That's when the vets arrive, and if we can get a deal done before the 25th, he'll be in Miami. If not, we're going to wait a little bit longer. And the longer we wait, the more that money is going to start going down, because people are going to be like, "You're not in here, right?" And the Dolphins are lucky because he ran the Dolphins scheme in Minnesota, so he doesn't necessarily need to be here. But the longer he waits, the lower that money's going to go. So he's probably going to sign sooner rather than later.
So. I want to get back to the defensive line, because I know you play defensive line a little bit, right? What do you think? Number one, what do you think? Did you think that hindsight being 2020? Do you think that Agba's contract is worth it, or do you? And secondly, where do you see Jalen Phillips ceiling this coming year?
Oh, I love Jalen Phillips. People call me a Tua stan because I defend the stupid takes. But I was an Xavier Howard stan. But now that he's got one foot out the door, I still love him. But he's not. I personally don't think he'll be a Dolphin next year. I'm a Jalen Phillips stan. I love that man. Like, I think he's gonna watching him breaking down film, seeing that he's on the right side of the field and the run goes to the left side, and he's the one who makes the tackle, and like he's pass rushing, and then they drop the ball off 10 yards behind him, and he's the one who's running 15 yards to make the tackle. He's got the odor. He gets the pressure. Like, he's just good. It's just that he's not getting the sacks. He's right there, but he's not getting the sacks. And then they take him off the field on rushing downs, and then they drop him back into coverage. It was a lot of what Boyer was doing was just killing me with Jalen Phillips. But I think he's going to be real dangerous. And then Emmanuel Agba's contract, it's a big cap hit this year. It's $17 million. He needs to go back to the 9-sack Emmanuel Agba we know, because he did it 2 years in a row in 2020, 21. He had 9 sacks, because in 2024, the Dolphins can cut him and save $13.8 million. So if he don't all of a sudden become that Emmanuel Agba again, just like Xavier Howard, we cut him and Xavier Howard, we save about $30 million in cap space. That's 2 guys. And we're negative 31 next year. So everyone's kind of freaking out about the cap space next year. You cut 2 players, all of a sudden you're fine. So
shout out to Papa Paul, by the way. Good evening, everyone. I'm home and resting now. By the way, real quickly, I guess Paris Love had his surgery and he's home resting. So good news on that front. Paris is,
Paris
you know what I'm saying? Paris love, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So glad he's doing okay. So, Doug, what do you think about A-Chain and his projections?
He's going to be good. I'm hearing great things coming out of OTAs and minicamp. We'll see when they do joint practice, because you're not going to hit your own guy hard. So once we get into joint practice and preseason, we'll really get to see what he can do. But I keep saying this. He reminds me of Darren Sproles. Like, he reminds me of that guy who's going to, be shifty, bounce off tackles. Because if you watch him when he played, he was bouncing off tackles and picking up those yards and the end arounds and stuff. He just fits in. You saw how happy Mike McDaniel was when we drafted him. He fits perfectly into what the Dolphins are going to be doing. And hopefully, Tua, what I would love to see is Tua take the 2021 Tua and the 2022 Tua, check down Tua and now force the ball down the field Tua and put them together.
And combine
because
them.
You have Devon A-Chain now, who you have him in a swing route. You have, your deep crossers and your post and all that stuff, pushing the defense back, and then you just drop that ball off to Devon A-Chain in the open field. Forget about it. He'll get you that first down if it's 3rd and 10. Just drop the ball off to him. So I'm excited to see what he can do. It's a good combination.
Great one. You have something to say, great one? I see you down there. Don't think I ain't watching you.
Just the Tua talk. That's it.
Oh man, you see?
No, but real quickly though, Doug, one of my takes, and I'm curious to what you think of it. Shout out to FinSanity 5 is in the building. Good to see you here.
Sure. Yep, shout out.
But anyway, one of my takes was that the wide receiving core and the cornerback core have this in common. 1 and 2 are etched in stones, and 3 on up is based on who we play and what formation we're in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think more on the wide receiver front, because we have so many really good receivers on this team. Like, the wide receivers and the corners are so deep, which it's funny because last year the corners were so not deep. Like, we just injury. But yeah, like wide receiver 3, you heard Tyreek Hill say Chosen, and he really likes Chosen, but like, you can throw Braxton Berrios in there with that speed. You want to see Eric Izukoma kind of get some touches. Cedric Wilson seems to be that odd man out. And then in the cornerback position, to me, I think the lock at that slot corner is Kader Kohu. That undrafted free agent last year comes in, was the 3rd best next gen stat coverage corner of 2022. The man was targeted 115 times, 2nd most in the NFL, and he was the 3rd best coverage corner last year. Like, that's ridiculous. And now you put him in the slot where he doesn't have to, he can do his thing. I think you have that combination, and then you can, either do the rotation, especially in Vic Fangio's defense. They play that zone and they do a lot of shifting and stuff. You have Nick Needham behind him. Cam Smith is going to be learning. You have Trill Williams, who's probably going to be up playing safety. It's going to be dangerous. So a lot of people are, I've seen some other content creators for other teams kind of poo-pooing our defense and thinking, oh, Jalen Ramsey's is washed and this and that. They suck. The people are going to be very surprised by the Dolphins defense.
I would say I agree with everything Doug's been on point. But so before you get out of here, Doug, let's set great one off in the right way. The final question for me, right, to you, Doug, is expectations for Tua. Because I'll be honest, first 2 years I used to come out, I would kill Tua, right? I just thought 5th overall pick, he's supposed to come in here, change the world. I didn't want to hear no talk about coaches, offensive line, weapons. I didn't want to hear nothing. Tua, to me, was supposed to change it, right? Last year, Tua answered, for me, a lot of questions. There's no more questions of what Tua can do on the field. If he's healthy, I know he can make every pass. I know he can execute, right? For you, Doug, where are you at? Like, what's a minimum amount of games that he can miss this season? And just what are your expectations in general for Tua this season?
And again, it's funny. I get called a Tua stan and a Tua defender and stuff. I didn't want to give him the 5th-year option. I wanted him to play this year, and I wanted him to prove that he can play a full season So next year we can give him a contract extension or we move on. Like that was my mentality on it. But like you said, going into this year, I needed to see some things. And then the Ravens game is where I was like, all right, you saw the 2 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill where everyone's like, oh, he's wide open, he underthrew him, he sucks, he still sucks, blah, blah, blah. But they forget about the Craycraft touchdown where he spun out of or the game winner where he's giving time in the pocket, or the Gesicki, he catches it, like he was on. And even his 2 stupid interceptions in the first half, he was still making throws throughout that game where you're like, okay, we see it. Even the Buffalo Bills game, 3rd and 22, gets us down the field, gets us into scoring position to take the lead. He was making the plays that I'm like, there it is. But then, boom, he gets hurt. And I'm like, and then he comes back, and he comes back hot, right? He had the stint against the Steelers, which was, it was a all right game. And then fire, red hot for 3 straight games. Bye week Texans game, you're like, he's starting to slump a little bit. Crap for the next 2 games. And then all of a sudden, Bills game starts to come back. Packers game really starts to come back in the first half. You're like, there's the Tua, gets hurt. And you're just like, if this man could just stay healthy, because no quarterback in the NFL is going to play 17 perfect games, 17 Hall of Fame games, So those 2.5 games of poo play, it's going to happen, right? Some of the best are going to have some games where you're like, oh my God, who did he stay asleep? Like, who is this on the field? I need to see him play a minimum of 15 games this year. Like, I get it. He might get dinged up. You saw Jalen Hurts get dinged up. He missed a game or 2. Or, you see some of these guys, they miss a game. Patrick Mahomes has missed a game or 2. I need him to play a 15 games minimum, and I need for him to stay consistent, right? And play smart. That's why I said take the 2021 Tua and the 2022 Tua, and there's your quarterback. Smart with the checkdowns, but also don't be afraid to push it down the field. But don't force it down the field, because that's where you kind of get in trouble. I think he's there. I think if he can stay healthy and he continues to get better, because even you said, Lewis, you saw him and you were like, he's struggling here, he's struggling there, but then all of a sudden you saw like year 1, all right, year 2, okay, he's getting better here, but he's still struggling here. Year 3, you know what I'm saying? He's getting better.
Absolutely.
If he can continue to get better in year 4, it's the first time in his football career he has the same offense 2 years in a row in his football career. So if he can continue to get better and play a minimum of 15 games, he'll get a contract extension. If not, the Dolphins will probably draft a new quarterback and then decide what they're going to do with Tua. This is his year. This is his year where he's either going to get a contract extension or play for another team.
Yeah.
See, and I agree with all that, because I've been saying it, Doug. Like, for me, I think Tua understand. Listen, not to get into personal life, but being married, having a kid, just growing up, becoming a man, and with the team in front of him, right? I think Tua is smart enough to understand there are no more excuses. I got my head coach in place. I got my defensive coordinator in place. I got my weapons. This is my team. I think barring any major injury, and I'm knocking on wood, right? But if it's a little pinky or it's something, a twisted ankle, Tua's going to be out there on that field. Yeah. I think he realizes the magnitude of this season. And again, barring any injury, I do think Tua plays 15 to 16. Hell, he might give us 17 weeks.
That's where I think things get a little fishy with his injury history, right? That whole finger situation wasn't good enough to start, was good enough to back up, and came in for the rate. That's where it gets fishy, but 100%, like you said, like he wanted to play that game. He wanted to be out there. So if it's not something that's going to physically take him out like a broken rib or something, which he wanted to come back in that Buffalo Bills game, they wouldn't let him because they were like, dude, you broke your rib. He's like, I want to play. Like you said, don't be surprised. Oh, he sprains his wrist. He's going to go out there. He'll throw the right hand, maybe.
Yep, I believe it. You hear that?
Yeah, if it's throwing.
You listening?
Throwing a hand.
And by the way, Doug, I'm glad you said that you're off of Xavier and Howard, because now you have Crypto screaming for like 10 minutes. But thank you, man.
Exactly, you got company there. It's a bad stock in the portfolio that's performing. I'm trimming the fat.
Hey,
time to get a real blue chip.
If he can come out and get 7 interceptions with Jalen on the other side, that's trade value. We can get a third. But if he does nothing, he's gonna get cut, and we're gonna get nothing. So I think he's going to have a better year than he did last year. Last year was bad, dealing with groin all year, and then kind of being on an island on his own because his defensive coordinator constantly wanted a blitz. But I think he'll do good. So
that's what's up, man. Anyway, where can you find you? Because I know you're at the 30-minute mark. If you still have time.
If you want to find me anywhere, just look up Dougly Do Wrong. It's a very weird name. So you type that in, you're gonna find me somewhere.
Yeah, whether Twitter, you're a good follow on Twitter, by the way. I like how you kind of, I don't have to follow all the beat writers because you kind of tweet out the Dolphin stuff, so I could just sift through. I don't have to follow all Darlingtons, your Ian Rappaport, because anything that's Dolphins important, you'll retweet it, and I just see it one source.
I try my best.
One stop shop. You know what I mean? So all right, Doug. Like
Good
I said,
to meet you again, Doug. Man, met you in person at the Jets game. It was fun. But
you're a tall dude. He was telling me you're tall. Everybody doesn't realize how tall you are.
I say that every time. People need to.
I'm like, man, he's tall as hell, man.
I'm going down to Miami this year, hopefully for the Denver game. So hopefully I see a bunch of you guys, and that's what probably I'm going to hear a lot is, "Geez, you're taller than I thought you were. I'm 6'5". I'm a tall man."
Hey, I still don't believe it. You look 5'11" right now, Doug. I still don't believe
Trust me, Lou. He's definitely that, bro.
Listen, even if I don't go to the game and just be at the tailgate, I'm gonna be there, Doug.
All right, man,
for sure. So,
well, Doug, before you get out, I know Shake just said it, but for me, it was an absolute pleasure. I think this is the first time I've actually really got to sit down, and so hopefully we could do this again soon. And just thank for coming, because again, pillar of the community, which you are,
for sure,
to come on a show like me and Shake's young up and coming, from me to you and from Shake to you, we really do appreciate it, man. For real,
definitely, and great one. We got to work together again, man. I miss your soothing voice.
Yeah, once he get over that Tua hate, he'll be fine.
I was gonna say, I was like, man, like, because I've been trying to go into like doing other things as far as like in podcasts. I'm like, man, this kind of makes you want to go back and do a Dolphins content, because like,
dude, I watch your stuff, man. If you start talking, movies and stuff, I'll hop on and chat with you. I love that stuff, man.
Oh, for sure. Like, I try to tell you, like when I sit down and just talk, like just say sports in general, like, it's a lot of work that comes into it. Not saying it's not a lot of work coming to talk about like a Dolphins like particular topic, but when you like talking for like 30 straight minutes about a whole bunch of different things, it's like you have to put more effort in taking notes than you actually like recording. And like that's the most frustrating part about it. So like the movie thing is like, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Oh man. All right, guys. I will.
And by the way, Dade County wants to tell you,
don't listen to none of that, Doug. Don't listen to none of that. Dade County is dead wrong. Don't listen to none of that, Doug.
That's too funny. All right, guys. I will do this again soon.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Be safe, man.
Peace. Yeah, man. We'll see you around.
And that was Dougly Do Wrong. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, like I said, let me give a shout out to people, because we were pressed for time, so I didn't want to take up too much of his time giving out shout outs. So, of course, Mark, your favorite, Lewis, California, now how to party, Mr. Dolphinier, the man we all need to aspire to be, Raphael Courtwright, of course, my buddy Michael K. Sword Trick and more, I guess that's how you pronounce that. H, my Gator brother, what's going on? Adam Sadowski. We got my man Ennis. How you doing? Joe Wrist, B McD, and let me see. There's of course Papa Paul with the $5 donation. Can't forget Raphael Courtwright. What's going on? Marino's GOAT. And let me see. Of course, I already shout out. And of course, the homie Bones. What's going on, Bones? How you doing, my brother? It's always good to see you. If I forgot you, man, sorry about that. We got so many people to go to. And of course, Facebook, Ray J. What's going on, Ray J? Oh, and don't forget Big Nick accountability. What's going on, Big Nick?
No,
anyway,
don't be sitting here.
Jay.
Don't be sitting here trying to text me in the background, Dave. You a hoe for that, Dave. Don't be texting me in the background.
So anyway, what's going on? Hey, by the way, listen, I don't know if you know this, but Pete is trying to get together a panel of, I would say, Tua doubters. If you want to be on that panel, let me know.
Hold on 1 second. You know what? I feel like I'm not dressed appropriately for the occasion. So give me about 15 seconds while I get right real quick.
What's coming?
15 seconds. Just don't be like Michael K and surprise us with any thing we gotta black out the screen.
Hey, Shake, the word I tried to bring into popularity last season was detractor. Tua detractors. That's what I like to say.
Well, in Florida, the tractor is something that rednecks drive a lot.
Those are tractors, not detractors.
Yeah, that's what I say. No, it is. Hey, I'm gonna ride on. I'm gonna go ride the tractor.
Oh, right, I got you. I'm gonna go ride the tractor.
There you go, great one. There you go, great one.
Oh well.
I had to get panel. I didn't mean for this to I kind of rushed in. I didn't get a chance to change. I had three choices. I was either gonna go with the Waddle, I was either gonna go with the Rashad Jones, and I had the Tua. Then I was like, man, Lewis gonna be up here. Let me get right for Lewis.
Oh man, that's what we doing. That's what we're doing. Great.
Damn.
He even put it on backwards so you see the name.
Right, so you can see it.
I appreciate that, homie. I appreciate that.
Hey, why don't you go put your Tua jersey on?
Oh, you want us to match?
Yeah.
You want us to match? Nah, man. I'm gonna save Uno for week 1, man.
Hey, enjoy. Hey, you better put that bug on right now and enjoy it while you can. You have to buy another one.
Hey, I'm I mainly came up to say great job on that interview, Shake and Lewis. Really good stuff, man. Appreciate you guys doing that, man.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Good stuff, man. You guys do a great job.
That was great, man. I joined the party late, but it was great.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, you seen Great One. DeVore was real quiet when Doug was up here. Real quiet.
Hey, I didn't want to take the limelight away from him. I was gonna let him have his moment.
Yeah, and I also want to thank the Great One for coming tonight. I appreciate you being here as well, bud.
I appreciate that, man. I'm sorry for being late. Traffic was ridiculous out there today.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you. Summertime, man.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How's the post office where you live?
I don't get nothing from the post office. I do Amazon.
I'm saying though,
they rely on us though on Sundays. Stop it. They still got to rely on us for Sundays.
By the way, if you don't get a package in the mail, that's you got to blame Crypto because he lives in your area. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Crypto does. Hey, Crypto, we need to link up, man. You said,
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it right now. I was gonna wait till later, but yeah, you close by.
So anyway,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can link up.
What's up, crazy Mr. Pope?
It's all good.
That's another full moon, part of the Wolf Pack. What's going on, brother? So let me ask you, so like I said, he's doing a panel full of Tua detractors. So if you want in on that, let me know, man. I'll definitely. I'm going to be producing.
Can I say something real quick? Because I feel like people don't respect Pete enough. Pete has been right on some things, and nobody's ever right on everything. I'm wrong about some things, but 9 times out of 10, I'm almost right. But
I'm not knocking Pete. I'm just saying you want to be on his panel. That's all.
Oh yeah. I was just speaking because I know there's a lot of people that be like, he's a Tua hater. Yes, I do want to be on the panel. Let me go ahead and start off by saying that. But Pete's right. The arm strength is a problem. But we can get into the X's and O's at any time. But you need velocity to be able to play on an elite level in the NFL.
So here you go, Pete. So Pete, you're listening. You got to recruit.
Well, hold on. Let's get into it. Let's get into the conversation. Did Joe Montana have a rocket arm, or did he have a finesse arm? It was more about the anticipation and the smart making the correct read. Joe Montana. No one criticized Joe Montana for his arm strength when again. And I'm not saying Joe Montana couldn't throw, but what I'm saying is look at the era where Montana was playing. You had guys like Dan Marino, Warren Moon, John Elway. No one thought Montana had an arm like those guys, but he got the job done. Got 4 Super Bowls. I'm just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if Great One knew about Joe Montana.
Oh, I knew about Joe Montana, but you look at the league that we play in now, it's like guys are expected to throw for over 300 yards now compared to back in the early 90s and into the 2000s, where they was basically running the football most of the time. So now at this point, Tua is going to be put in situations where he's going to have to throw us to win games. Is everybody confident that we can do that? Can we get into a shootout with the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen? Can we get into a shootout with the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers? Can we do that with Tua? And in my honest opinion, if we put in money on it, I'm going to say no.
I don't know. He got into a shootout with Lamar Jackson.
Damn, Pete. You got your company up here, Pete.
He got it. He got into a shootout. Now, he didn't win it. He has to be better. I would agree in certain situations. I'm not saying Tua's a finished product, but listen, Great One. I was up here when we were going to Buffalo last year, mid-December. I came up here. I thought our offense and Tua specifically was going to score 3 points. I had us getting blown out that game, and we had 29 points. Tua was a big part of that. You look at his number now. He didn't get to 300. I think the number was 265, but very efficient in that game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think it was 265. I don't think Tua was the problem there. And again, 29 points. I don't want to blame the defense for the game. I'm just saying that's a shootout game, in my opinion. He wasn't the problem. And again, that's a hostile environment in Buffalo. Cold weather game. Again, I don't think no one's saying he's a finished product, and I'm not. I'm kind of with you, Great One. I'm not 100% sold. Maybe I'm a little bit more so than you on Tua, but by no stretch of the imagination am I coming out and saying he is legitimately our guy. I'm not ready to give him a 5-6 year deal and say, here, Tua, this is your team. No, he still has things he needs to prove. Where I'm at, and again, it's not only Tua, it's for a lot of guys on this team. Every year I can say Tua's gotten better. So who am I now to say going into year 4, second year in this offense, why can't he be better than what we seen him last year? That's just where I'm at.
Right. I'm reading some of the comments. I'm trying to go find that comment about Tua was ranked 25th.
And to your point, Lewis, I was going to say this is why I can't blame Mike McDaniel for not running the ball in Buffalo. Because Tua did show in that same game, he was averaging 14 yards per pass completion. So he had every right to rely on his quarterback at that moment when things was getting a little rough. That's why I'm not out when it comes to that Buffalo game. As far as blaming the coach for not running the ball.
By the way, Lewis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Shake.
See, I used to do a show with a debate show with Great One DeVore, and I used to have to make sure I used to keep this some headache, some pain reliever. You know what I'm saying? Because he used to give me headaches all the time debating with him. So just make sure you have this with you.
Listen,
I'm just saying. It's all, I'm just fucking with you, DeVore. I got nothing but love for you, bro.
Shake, pull up the apron, Shake. That guy, Great One, is ever going to invite me to have a debate show with him if he sees this apron. You see my cooking apron? Great One? There it is right there. In a debate, when you lose against me, you get one of these aprons. Cooking folk. That's what it says. I'm out here cooking folk, Great One.
That's complimentary?
Oh, yeah. And listen, it comes with an autograph and everything. I'm handing them out, Great One.
It says it's complimentary.
Don't get mad at me if I try to sell it on eBay. Hopefully, I get a couple $100 off of it.
Damn. He gonna get it free from you and then sell it for $300 on eBay.
Man.
I got you.
Man.
By the way, shout out to Master Finisher. What the fuck happened to Lewis? He didn't sound like that in December.
Damn.
Hey, man, listen, things change. And again, this is how we should be in the fan base, right? And this is all I'm calling for. Kill the team or kill Tua if they play bad. Praise Tua and praise the team if they play well. That's all it is. People, when I guarantee you when the season starts, and if Tua has a bad game and I come out here and I say anything critical, they're going to be like, well, Lewis, look, you're flip-flopping again. And no, bro, it's just about being objective.
No,
if Tua plays a good game,
Bob, you just analyze them game by game, right?
Absolutely, bro. How could I come and criticize Tua when he has a 3-touchdown, no interception game and over 300 yards against Detroit? What do you want me to? I mean, what do you want me to say? He was trash.
That point.
You want me to talk about the one pass maybe he underthrew? Like, what? How are we going to be productive?
Yeah, you can't do that
in that kind of conversation. All I'm saying is just be objective with the kid and the team. It's not only Tua. Like, bro, it's for everybody. See, again, I'm a Dolphin fan.
Give Waddle that smoke.
I don't care about the name in the back of the jersey. I'm about the logo. I'm starting to defend Tua, but I defend Jerome Baker. There's a lot of people that don't like Baker. I defend Emmanuel Ogbah. There's a lot of people that don't like him. Like, I keep the same energy for everybody. So if that makes me a flip-flopper, then hey, that's just what I am. But the world needs more people like me, Great One. I'm just saying they need more people like me.
Yeah, but one thing about the boy, at least he has context when he says what he says. It's not coming feeling based.
I don't get enough feeling.
I know. I'm talking about Lewis. I'm not Lewis. Devore. He don't get in his feelings either, man.
Oh no. Well, listen. Nothing I'm saying up here. I'm joking with Great One. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I know what Great One is. I know we can have a productive conversation with Great One, right? But there's just certain people you can't. They're working with their feelings, and it's whichever side of the fence you're on. If you're the Tua lover, I think those guys are extremists too. I think if you're a Tua hater, those guys are at extreme. I just find myself somewhere in the middle. I can have a conversation with anybody, but it's to the point where Tua has a weak arm because he underthrew Tyreek Hill, right? If you're having that conversation, and then you'll throw up the video of Patrick Mahomes underthrowing Tyreek Hill. Are we saying that Patrick Mahomes is trash because he underthrew him? No, we are not. But if Tua underthrows him, now he's trash. You see what I'm saying? It's like the hypocrisy, bro. Like, keep it 100. If Tua's trash because he underthrows Tyreek, then what you're telling me is Patrick Mahomes is trash because I've also seen Patrick Mahomes underthrown.
Yeah,
but I will say Tua did underthrow Jakeem Grant 2 years ago, though.
You better than that, Great One. That thing hit him right in his chest.
Now, if you want to argue that, you prefer him to be consistently throwing the ball deep, but you can't say he's never done it. Nah, we'll give you that, but you can't use an absolute and say he can't do it because he's demonstrated that he can with his own film. But you could be unsatisfied for him not doing it consistent to your liking. Then that's fair. But you can't use an absolute and say he's never done it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all. Right.
All right.
Just say I would like him to be more consistent. That's what you can say.
Okay, we spent too much time on Tua. There's 53 other people on the roster. So anyway,
I would like to talk about the rise of Eichenberg to his Hall of Fame status once again.
No, what do you think of this line? What do you think of this line?
Talk about it.
Devore, what do you think of this line?
Look, over the past decade, we have had our gripes about the offensive line. I'm at this point, I'm not going to speak on the offensive line until I see them week 6, where we're playing with the same 5 guys, because that's always been the issue where we've always had injuries on the offensive line and we had to play musical chairs. And our quarterback, regardless if it's Tua or if it's Mike White back there, has been sitting ducks. And that's usually the key to the reason why the Dolphins end up folding later in the season when we end up having to fight for a playoff spot.
So who do you think is your starting 5?
There's really only three players on the offensive line right now that's a guaranteed starter. That would be Armstead, Connor, the center. What's his name? Robert Hunt and Connor. That's it.
What about my man Wynn?
No. I have to see him. I have to see him in an actual live game. I'm not going to do that anymore. where I'll be like, this is going to be my 5. This is what I know. Those are my 3 guaranteed guys right there where we forked out a lot of money. It's going to be Robert Hunt's coming up, but Armstead and Connor, we went in free agency. We spent a lot of money on them. I'm expecting them to be starters, but everybody else, they're going to have to. It has to be a collective effort where they have to have the chemistry right. So we're going to see a whole bunch of different offensive lines in the preseason, and you're going to hear about it during training camp too as well. But I can't put together the other 2 because of the fact that I have to see it live before I can voice my opinion.
And what about the offensive lineman that looks like the 80s wrestler?
That's what is his name? I got you.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dan Feeney.
Yeah.
You know, remember Isaac Asiata?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had such high expectations for Isaac Asiata. And does anybody know how many games he played?
How many? 0?
2. Technically 2.
Say 2.
Technically 2. So, like, we can look at a guy and be like, yeah, this guy could play. But until he actually, like, hits the field, I'm just like, I learned my lesson from the Isaac Asiata situation.
Yeah. He was good, too, from Utah. And, by the way, shout out to Chef Jew. And, by the way, being there summertime, right? If you're in the Miami area and you're throwing a birthday party, you're hosting a function, and I know cooking could be a hassle. Everybody's busy. Well, that's where this man comes in, Chef Jew. Chef Jew's Catering. He specializes in soul food, Spanish food, country, southern food, you name it. Call him up at 786-804-8096. 786-804-8096. Follow him on Instagram. Right there, Chef Jew 323. Follow him on IG. Like I said, I recommend this dude. Lewis told me he has the best cupcakes. So, like I said, summertime, you're throwing a birthday party, a nice function. Go to the best, which is Chef Jew. All ingredients are made from scratch. Everything fresh, nothing frozen. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get top quality when you call Chef Jew. So, anyway, continue with what's up. No, all right. What about the wide receivers? What do you think about the wide receivers? Who are your mainstays, your guarantees?
Obviously, you have 2 of the. Are we going to put Waddle in the top 10? Can we agree with him being a top 10 wide receiver?
Absolutely, I'll have him in the top 10.
Crypto, what about you? Shake, you wanna chime in on that?
Hang on. Yeah.
So we all in agreement that Jalen Waddle is a top 10 wide receiver in this league. So with that being said, there's no excuses for 2. I know this is a wide receiver conversation, but you have the 2 of the top guys. Now,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, you was asking top 10.
Yes, top 10. So
yeah, he is.
So Craycraft, I like Craycraft as a number 3 guy. I feel like he stole the show away from the guy from the Cowboys, Cedric Wilson. Yes, yep. Cedric Wilson. So I like the wide receiver core. Just
go Gators, baby.
For our number 1 and our number 2, and then whoever you decide you're going to put at the number 3. I feel like the tight end position is the more concerning position on the offense, considering the fact that you're stuck with Tyler Kroft and Darren Smythe.
Whoa, say that again.
There you go.
Great one for the guys in the back that didn't hear.
Wait a minute.
What is tight end? Listen, great one. Before we get into this conversation, I've been killing people, telling people, in my opinion, that's the weakest room in the building is tight end. And they keep telling me, well, Durham Smythe this, and he's a great blocker. And bro, I'm glad you said that.
In his defense, though.
Absent.
In his defense. In Durham Smythe's defense, he has developed into being a more complete tight end over the past couple of seasons. I will say that.
Well, listen, I'll be honest. Durham Smythe is, like I said the other day, he's a more willing blocker than Mike Gesicki. That doesn't mean you can block. Just because you're more willing to stand in front of somebody doesn't mean you're a good blocker. Bro, we could throw on film. You watch, bro. He can't block to save his life. And when I hear he's becoming a complete tight end, I yet to see that. Because yeah, you could pick a play here where he's running down the seam, or you could pick a play here. But if you look at him consistently, right, all that man has been doing, or all he's been asked to do, is basically chip block and release to the flat when he's around. No one, right? And everybody wants to say, well, he has a great catch rate. And bro, I have an 8-year-old son now.
But Lewis, he does that at a high level, Lewis.
Man, please, Crypto, my 8-year-old son can chip block right now and throw. And
absent Kelsey and KC, our tight end room is on par with the Chiefs. Absent Kelsey, I'll say that. You have to be willing to say that.
You said on par.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I'm sorry, because I'm just looking at the stats right now. Like, again, Darren Smythe has some big, huge shoes to fill because Mike Gesicki had 32 catches last year, and you look at the drop off. You go to Smythe, he's only had 15. So I'm from what my expectancy rate from a Durham Smythe, he's got to catch at least 25 passes for me to be like, okay, he's capable.
Oh, he'll get it. He's going to get like 40 catches this year.
Well, bet money on that.
You want to put a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips on that? I like my kettle too. I like it kettle. And you appreciate for me too. I drive right through where you had to go pick up that bag.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. It's an honor.
Come on, man. 40 catches. Come on.
I'm telling you right now, 40 catches, probably gonna be like 600 or 700 yards. Easy money.
Oh yeah. Make it 5 bags of salt, vinegar, potato chips right now. Put that on the table right now. I take that.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I would say bet accepted. That's what I want to hear.
Salt and vinegar chips.
Salt and vinegar. Hey, Giant got a special 2 for $6.
Yeah, and we talking about the big bags, Crypto. We ain't talking about the small bags.
I'll get you the 25-cent bag.
Hey, all you need is the card. All you need is the value card.
And by the way, if Crypto wins, I know he wants that popcorn. He loves popcorn.
Yep, I want popcorn.
The smart
triple
popcorn?
Mix. The caramel and cheese corn.
Oh, come on, bro. You know where it's at right
Gourmet.
now? It's that Bao Chicka Pop popcorn right now. That's in the organic section. What you know about that?
And by the way, shout out to my man Ennis Campbell. He says, let's talk about the Liam Eichenbergs in the running back room.
The running back room is not. Oh, again, I understand Mostert is 31, going to be 32 for the season. I get it. You can't depend on him. He's had injuries throughout his career. I get it. But everybody else is young in that room. Jeff Wilson is young. I think he's 26. A-Chain obviously is young.
Shout out to Q, by the way, with the $10 donation.
Yeah, I see Q. Shout out for the donation. For me, again, no one's saying we have a top-notch running back room, but if I have to be completely honest, I think the running back room is a lot better than what we have at tight end. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's a comparison. If you look down what we have in the running back room, roster-wise, compared to what we have in the tight end room, bro, that's not even a conversation to be had. We're weak at tight end.
You willing to have some popcorn, some cheese popcorn on that?
By the way, shout out to Papa Paul with a $10 donation.
Okay,
saying we don't need a tight end with who has at receiver. We don't need a tight end with who we have at receivers and running backs. If McDaniel's offense scheme don't work, we don't need a A+ tight end. So what he's trying to say is, yeah, with the weapons we have, I think the offense is going to be predicated with the running backs and wide receivers. Which is your first? Oh no. Here we go.
Put at least first.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
To put
what's
Miami on schedule every year. My slang ain't that good. What's fuzz?
Oh, you talking about you FSU? Okay, that's cool.
Oh.
What about now, Shake Money? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My friend,
this ain't a Florida UM conversation right now.
Oh,
we can do that some other time.
Football.
By the way, I'm going to be calling.
We can leave the bottom feeders like the Gators on the bottom of the list. So yeah.
What did you say about the bottom feeders like the Canes? I agree. I agree with you. 100%.
Wow.
But anyway, so yeah. So in your opinion, who has a better room, the tight ends or the running backs?
Running backs.
Yeah, it's not even close, Shake. We all listen.
We have proven commodities already there, so we really can't really speak on the tight end room. Like, unless Durham Smythe drinks Bugs Bunny secret stuff and he comes out looking like George Kittle.
Stop that.
It's going to be it's going to be
second year in this offense. He's going to be probably just as good as Kittle.
You just put 700 yards, 50 catches. I saved that in my memory bank. I'm gonna take that to the grave. As soon as the season is over, I'm coming to look for you. Boy, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you live in the DMV area. Boy.
I know that's right.
That's all right. I'll be around.
So,
I'll be ready. I'll be around to collect my popcorn.
Okay.
Crypto, second year in this offense, but first year running tight end routes. All right, so just let that sit with you. That man ain't never ran a route in his life. That man.
Hey, he's a better route runner than Gesicki. He's a better route runner than Gesicki.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You done lost your damn mind, Crypto.
He rounds off his routes. Smythe runs crisp routes. You see him make that nice in
he
cut.
runs straight to the sideline.
He had that linebacker shook out of his boots. You didn't see that Steelers game? Shook him out of his boots.
Shoot, I'm willing to put another 5 that this Elijah Higgins may possibly get a tight end spot. He's converting.
Talk to him.
By the way, there's no link today.
Failure there. That's a dumb decision. But
I want people to know there's not going to be a link today, but this Friday we're going to have an open panel. So anything you want to talk about this Friday, please come through at 6:00. We're going to open up the panel for everybody. So please be patient. But until then, man, we got the homie Great One DeVore. I rarely get to speak to him about the Dolphins, so I'm very interested in what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm definitely enjoying crypto. Hey, you about to make me a very, very rich man. My pantry about to be loaded with bags of and chips. Hey, you need to make more bets more often.
You say your pantry's empty.
Yeah, my pantry empty.
You got to fill it up.
I can't get food stamps.
Damn.
But back to the original question though. Yeah, the running back room for sure. They're more of a proven commodity. With Mostert, he had over 1,000. Then you have Jeff Wilson. He had like 800. That's what he had. No, Mostert had 891 and Jeff Wilson had 392.
By the way, DeVore was in the blender. He was one of my first guests. So it's if you look in the recent videos, he was in there. So you'll find out how he. Yeah. Remember, we talked about how you became a Dolphin fan through Ace Ventura.
Oh, yes. The blender.
Remember the show I was doing?
Yeah, I remember. I was going to say
shout out to Mr. Polk. My concern is tight end, DT, and inside linebacker.
Shout out for the donation of $5 by Mr. Polk, man. Appreciate it, Mr. Polk.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Polk.
Tight end, and defensive tackle, and he said linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 3, I'll probably say defensive tackle would probably be my least concerned. I would probably say it would go tight end, then linebacker, then defensive tackle, if we're being honest, because again, we don't know what we're gonna get out of David Long. Like, durability is definitely an issue. And then we had the discussion last time about Andrew Van Ginkel, the possibility of him playing some middle linebacker. We don't know what we're gonna get out of him at the position. And then when we talk about defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins, Zach Seitler, and Raekwon Davis. I like that room. That's a pretty good room, if we're being honest. And it's a contract year for Christian Wilkins too as well. So I'm expecting him to show out and continue to be dominant. I know we was all in agreement that he's not worth. What was the number? Was it like $20 million a year? That was the number.
For who? Christian Wilkins?
Yeah, it's $20 million a year. Yeah, for us to offer Christian Wilkins a contract extension.
Yeah. Well, I believe supposedly, Great One. Some of the rumors he wants upwards in the 21 to 23 million dollar range. So that's what it.
I didn't even know it get to the 20 million mark. When did it cross?
Well,
20?
No. If we franchise him, let's say he plays out this year and we want to franchise him next year, yeah, he would probably be in that 20+ million range if we franchise him. I think
is that the average of the top 3 players?
Nah, the average is the highest is 31 with Aaron Donald, then Jeffrey Simmons gets 23 million. So he fits right there in like the top 10, in my honest opinion, where he can get. I wouldn't say he's better than Villa. I'm not saying he's better than Jonathan Allen, not better than Chris Jones. I will say he may be better than Javon Hargrave. So I feel like that's where it's going to be the problem right here, where you may have to put him in that 21,500,000 mark.
Well, hold on, Great One, because I heard you say that Vita Vea, you don't believe he's better than Vita Vea. Vita Vea is only at 17 million.
Yeah, but how many? What year is he in this contract?
What was the last? Yeah, I was going to say when the last time he signed.
Because I was going to say each player resets the market, and I believe Hargrave, he just got paid this year, so he's getting paid at the market value. Obviously, the anomaly here is going to be Aaron Donald, because he's obviously the best defensive tackle in probably NFL history, probably the most dominant player in NFL history, if we're being honest. But when you look at these guys on this list, like Jeffrey Simmons, he's extremely dominant. Deron Payne, extremely dominant. Dexter Lawrence, extremely dominant. DeForest Buckner, yeah, he's in a house with with some pretty good guys, but Javon Hargrave is the only guy right here where I'll be like, that's a little concerning, especially the fact where I see Chris Jones underneath him. He's making $1 million less than him, so he definitely just got paid.
Well, and Hargrave did just get paid, but look at Hargrave's sack numbers, because again, if you're talking about run stuffer, right? And me and Cap, me and Shake were just up there. But Cap illustrated it and went through all the numbers. We went through, I believe, that same list you're looking at, Great One, of the top 10 DTs or whatever. And we went through the money and stuff. And yeah, Christian Wilkins stacks up in run defense, right? A lot of tackles, But bro, the facts of the matter is Christian Wilkins has 11.5 sacks in 4 years. And a lot of guys on that list, bro, they were getting 11, 12 sacks in a season.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
This man got 11 in 4 years, bro.
Let's scale this back. Hold on. Let's scale this back, because when we look at the Philadelphia Eagles defense alone, like Fletcher Cox is a force in itself. So I'm expecting Javon Hargrave to produce those 11 sacks. And then he wasn't even the only one that got over double-digit sacks. There was like 5 different guys that had
4 or 5. Yeah. They set the record.
Yeah, so there's a lot of double-digit sacks. He got a lot of different looks where he was coming in free for him to be able to eat like that. So I really like here's where stats are flawed a little bit. And this is why I don't really like looking into stats like that, because it was Olivier Vernon, right? Where we was having that situation with Olivier Vernon and Cameron Wake, which one we wanted to pay. That was like 2014, 2015, somewhere around that area, where I was like, you know what? Olivier Vernon doesn't deserve to get paid. Cameron Wake is my guy. But here's the twist to it. Just because you don't have enough sacks doesn't mean you're not a dominant pass rusher. If Olivier Vernon is able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback, and he's able to force that quarterback to the right side over to Cameron Wake's side, Cameron Wake gets credit for that sack. But Olivier Vernon, he gets credit for the hurries. So what you need to look at as far as like defensive linemen, as far as getting to the quarterback, look at the hurries and the pressures, not the sacks.
The hurries, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, I love Christian Wilkins, love the player, love everything he's about, love everything he brings. But if I'm gonna pay you what those other guys are making in the 20+ million range, again, it's the same argument I used to have with Tua. Bro, I don't care about your weapons. I don't care. I'm not paying you 20 million because you lined up to another guy, because See, when I hear things like that, this is the problem. Okay, so I'm going to give Christian Wilkins 20+ million. Well, guess what happens when I get 20 plus million to you, Christian Wilkins? I can't have no one next to you that's worth a damn. So if I'm paying you because you need someone that's next to you, nah, I can't do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, Hargrave, that's fine. We brought out the Philadelphia Eagles. But let's do, and again, if whoever didn't watch it, go and watch what Cat show. Bro, it's like, what's the guy's name that just got paid by the
it was on the Sunday that passed. So.
Dexter Lawrence, right?
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence.
Look at Dexter Lawrence. He ain't playing next to nobody. He had 7.5 sacks.
Oh, he playing with somebody. He playing with two other guys. That's the guy that came from the Giants. Leonard Williams is there, and he got the rookie from last year. Hold on, I hate saying the rookie from last year. But there's some pretty good players on that Giants roster. But I'm not going to take any credit from Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is able to push the line back into the quarterback's face. If you're able to get pressure into the quarterback's face, you basically just dominated the game alone. And by Christian Wilkins being able to disrupt the running game, able to push that center back into the running back into the quarterback, you're doing your job. I'm like, a lot of people get caught up with the result, but for us to get to that result, look how dominant what he does before we actually get to where a Bradley Chubb or Andrew Van Ginkel or a Jalen Phillips able to get that tackle in the backfield. It's that defensive tackle that's able to push that pile and disrupt the whole play.
I mean, listen, I get it. I love Christian Wilkins. Again, I don't want to, because you know how this thing works. The internet works. Great one. They'll say, Lewis, you a hater. You don't want to sign him. I'm just saying, I don't think Christian Wilkins, in my opinion, is a $20 million guy. I just don't. I'll put him where Vita Vea is, and that's $17 million. I have no problem giving Christian Wilkins $17 million, right? But no, bro, I can't give Christian Wilkins $22 million.
That's fair.
I just can't.
That's fair.
They ain't no way in hell. Because again, I can argue, right? And people are gonna get in their feelings. But Christian Wilkins didn't give you this much production. Look at his last 2 years, right? They've been great. No one's gonna take that away from him. But he's lined up next to Seiler as well, right? So I could say that Seiler is helping out Christian Wilkins, and he still ain't giving him that sack production. I mean, again, there's a guy in the community. They tell me, from what, I don't even know the guy, but they tell me he does great film breakdowns, right? He did a film breakdown the other day, and in the game, all I seen was Raekwon Davis getting double teamed. I don't remember Christian Wilkins getting any sacks in that game, going one-on-one. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, I love Christian Wilkins. I love everything about him. But nah, I'm not on board with 20 plus million.
I feel you. Like, from a business standpoint, yes, that 20 million is going to be hard to work in what we want to do with the rest of this roster, because we have a lot of guys coming up. But in Christian Wilkins' defense, look, if I had the money, the way he disrupts plays, that's a guy that you want on your team. Like, if we're able to, let's think about this for a second. If we're able to disrupt the running game, like, you can be so much more versatile on your defense when you're able to hold the team to less than 60, 70 yards a game, because you eliminate the play action and you increase the chances of them throwing the football, and nobody wants to throw on us.
What's good, man? What's good? By the way, earlier.
So
Pete
you don't think?
Earlier, Pete. That's okay. Earlier said Pete wants to know who would be your surprise cut?
Surprise cut.
Tua Tagovailoa.
No, that's not a surprise cut. That's definitely.
Damn, it said it wouldn't be surprised. Damn, that's brutal. Or that's brutal.
You know what? If this was next year, I would probably say Emmanuel Ogbah, but I could possibly see a trade. I could possibly see a trade where you could possibly get rid of Emmanuel Ogbah, because this is where I'm looking at right now. Because when you look at the Dolphins, they went out and gave Bradley Chubb that contract extension, and Doug touched on Jalen Phillips. I'm going to piggyback off of that, and I'm gonna take it a step further. Jalen Phillips, he could possibly be a defensive player of the year candidate because the way he's just so dominant as a pass rusher. And the Dolphins last year, they did a whole bunch of different things with him where he's dropping back into coverage, which I didn't like. I'm going to agree with Dudley on that. But if they make him a consistent pass rusher, like I can see him being a top 5 pass rusher and possibly being a defensive player of the year candidate, especially when you have a Bradley Chubb opposite of him. So Emmanuel Ogbah, he's the odd man out here. So I would possibly see a trade, but they're not going to cut him because the cap hit is too high for him at this point for 2023. Next year, maybe.
You don't,
for sure.
My quick question about that 20 million plus thing, right? Given that I'm not going to say Christian Wilkins is limited, it's just what he put on the field as far as on film. You know, he's a great tackle, you know, no one's questions that. But at 20 million, you don't think that same skill set can be easily replaced at a level less than 20 million?
At that level, the way that Christian Wilkins is able to dominate the line of scrimmage like that, it's going to be hard. Yes, we have the depth where we'll survive without him, but the thing is, we played devil's advocate with this thing. Like, how would the Dolphins look without Laremy Tunsil? If we're being honest with each other, it basically, I feel like the result is basically almost similar. I feel like we end up losing as far as on the offensive line aspect of things. We ended up losing in that department. So I like what we have with Christian Wilkins. If we can keep him at all costs, obviously we're gonna have the right numbers got to be there, but I would prefer to have him on the roster.
By the way, shout out. But you think? Shout out to my homie CB83 in the chat. Good to see you, bro. But go ahead.
You brought up Tunsil. It's Tunsil.
He does a good film breakdown on YouTube. You should check him out sometime.
I ain't never seen that.
Lewis is the #1 rated film guy to break down film in history of YouTube. No one breaks down film like CB83. He's the greatest that's ever been at that department, Lewis. So you might want to check out his channel and subscribe, and comment and contribute to his channel. He's looking for your support.
That's what's up.
Let's see here.
Yeah, man. I get it, man. If I'm looking to go to sleep soon, I'll throw something like that on and puts me right to sleep. Puts me right to sleep, man.
Damn. No, but like I said,
I don't know, man.
The thing about it is with Christian Wilkins, I understand people want him to pass rush, but I could see them trying to put him. I could see him being put back into coverage here and there, because he did say he wants to. That's the one thing he wants to work on is his pass coverage. So,
sorry, keep that hand in the dirt, buddy. Nope, don't want to see that. Just keep your hand in the dirt. Stop the run. Make an attempt to push the pile or disrupt the play by taking on a double team, allowing Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb to get one-on-one matchups, and that's all I expect from you. I don't want to see all that extra where you drop defensive tackle, driving back in coverage, and do it all. Like, I don't like that. Like, if you can rush the passer, you can rush the passer, and I feel like you're limited. Like, I understand, like, we want to confuse teams, but if that's what we can do, where you have two dominant guys that can rush the passer, like I said with the Jalen Phillips thing, let him rush the passer. Don't have him do anything else, because he can put pressure on the quarterback consistently.
What do you think of this take? Reality says Christian Wilkins was the one against the run. At the end of the day, this is a passing league, so you know what I mean. I think there's more emphasis on stopping the pass than the run, but you do need to stop the run to some degree, though. Yeah, because that's the defense's first job, to stop the run so they could be one-dimensional, you know?
Well, see, Shake, and this
that's
is
a good point,
Shake, you were on the panel with me and Cap the other night, right? And I brought this up. This is what I think the hypocrisy in the fan base, right? Because we like Christian Wilkins. We love the name in the back of the jersey, right? we're willing to pay a guy that gets a lot of tackles because that's all he does. Run stuffer or whatever. It's a lot of tackles when you look at his numbers the last 2 years. So you're willing to give a guy like that 20+ million. But a guy like Jerome Baker that's never missed a start for us, right? And again, just because you don't like Jerome Baker, you tell me his contract, he's overpaid. But Jerome Baker gets 100+ tackles a season.
Hey, by the way, you know what Jerome Baker should do?
We have a problem with Jerome Baker getting tackles. We can't pay him, but we could pay Christian Wilkins just because he gets a lot of tackles. Like, bro, stop.
Here's the solution for Jerome Baker. Maybe the fans will like him after he tackles somebody behind the line. Do that Power Ranger thing, and maybe people will like him. Pretend he's a Power Ranger. I think that's what it is.
That might help out, Shake.
Yeah.
Maybe Christian Wilkins would be liked more if he does the splits after he gets a sack. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah, he would only have to do 1 or 2 splits a season. That's all he would have to do. He would only have to give us 1 or 2 splits. He ain't gonna have to do 11 of them motherfuckers. I can promise you that. He ain't gonna...
So let me ask you. I'm curious. In the safety room, what stock do you put in someone like I was at Byron, not Byron Jones, but Jones, the Jones, something Jones, B Jones, Brandon Jones, being that he's injured, and then we got who's the guy, DeAndre damn it, the guy from Detroit. You remember? I'm blanking out on his name.
That's okay. So you got
Deshaun Elliott.
There we go.
Deshaun Elliott. Okay.
So I thought we got him from Seattle.
No, we got him from Detroit.
So okay, here's the thing with Brandon Jones. He's coming off of an ACL tear. So ACL tear. So the thing with Brandon Jones is when we run, excuse me, this was the
thank you. Appreciate that delusional picture.
Brian Flores era here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't when we drafted him, he wasn't even they drafted him just because of his ability in the film room. I believe when he came out, like he said, he studied like everybody's
playbooks,
but everybody's basic playbook, which is impressive. And the way they played Brandon Jones over the last 2 seasons, they had him in the box as a linebacker in the nickel and in the dime situations. So I'm not really seeing him as a safety like that. So it would come down to Deshaun Elliott, and there's another player that was up there that I saw. That was depending on what happens in the cornerback room, I could possibly see some Nick Needham playing some safety back there, and Vernon McKinley, that's what it was. He could play. I like him.
That's what's up. So, all right, from strength to weakness. In each defense and offense, you got to tell me from you're going to put the strongest position group first to the weakest on defense. What would it be
on defense?
And y'all could participate too. I'll give you a good example. Like for me, the strongest will be, I would say, the secondary, then the corners. Then the defensive ends, safeties, outside linebackers, D tackles, and inside linebackers. Those are how I feel our strength to weaknesses, in my opinion.
DN, corner, safety, linebacker.
What about D tackles?
D tackles is last. Oh. D tackle, then linebacker. My bad.
Okay, Lewis, same thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to break them down into like corners. I'm just going to say strongest would be secondary. Second for me would be defensive line. Weakest would be linebacker. That's how I would break it down. I would say secondary is definitely the strongest unit. D-line, I think, is a strong unit. And then last would be the linebackers for me.
Okay. Crypto. Okay, in offense, I'm gonna have to say tight ends. No, wide receivers definitely I don't know. They're all tied for third place. I would say quarterbacks, and then they're all the rest of the room, whole line, tight ends, and running backs are tied for third place.
Receiver, everybody else ties.
Yeah.
O-line, you wouldn't put as the last group or first group? You sure?
I might put.
Since we got Eichenberg in that O-line group, they should be first.
I was thinking about putting quarterback last.
Well, hold on, real quick there. Hold on, y'all saying the wide receivers are the best part of the offense. Who gets the wide receivers the ball? They ain't throwing it to themselves. Who's throwing them the ball for them to be the best unit?
They don't, but they don't do that,
Okay.
right? But that wide receiver group performed with all of our quarterbacks.
No.
So it's all of our quarterback rooms did it.
Oh, now it's the quarterback room. Okay, Crypto. I see how we're playing, Crypto.
Yeah, he said group.
How we're doing this.
He said group. They are a group. The room is considered a group. More than one. That's plural.
Yes, group.
You got to count all three of them. Skylar, Teddy, not Teddy, but Skylar, as well as Matt White now. They get lumped in there because they might be called to task to perform. And Teddy Bridgewater, when he came in there last year, to Tyreek Hill didn't miss a beat. He still carried Bridgewater.
And I know we had a lot of Tua, enough Tua talk. What was the statistic that Tua was like number one in that everybody is like throwing all over the internet right now?
His jersey?
QB rating.
His QB rating.
Oh.
The QB rating.
You sure it's his QB rating? I thought it was like a
No. The number one, the deep passes. Over 20 yards.
Oh, the 3 passes. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I know it's the QB rating. That's what he's number one in.
Okay. I want to say this for the record. And this goes back to the stats thing that I was talking about with Olivier Vernon and Cameron Wake. Look, I'm sorry. Like, stats are nice to look at, but stats lie. Okay.
Average per pass. So
average per pass. So that's per pass attempt, right?
Yeah, he's number one in attempts. Pass attempt yardage.
Pass attempt
depth of target, yeah.
Okay, so what goes into pass attempts? Somebody please tell me.
What goes into it? What you mean? I don't get what you're
saying. So that includes. So that means if Tua was to do an RPO and it's a slant where it's a 5 yard, it's a 5 yard pass, and then whatever they get after the catch, that's included in that statistic, correct?
No,
it's not.
It will just be at the 5 yard mark because that's the attempt.
It would be at the 5 yard mark.
The yards after catch will go into that stat.
The yards after,
but yards per target will be where you at when you caught the ball.
Where you caught the ball.
Right.
How sure are you about that?
No, Crypto's spot on.
He's spot on with that?
Yeah, the average yards per attempt is, let's say it's a 15-yard out, and Tua's averaging 15 yards on those. That's what it is. He led all quarterbacks in average per completion, or average per distance of the actual throw. So yeah, great one. Yeah, great ones. Talk on it.
You want to talk on that?
Talk on it.
Hey, like I said, at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna. This is how I'm gonna roll with this year, because at some point we're gonna have to come to the realization. Look, there's no such thing as a system quarterback. A quarterback's supposed to go with it, supposed to perform into the system at the best of his ability. So I'm going to go ahead and give Tua a pass on this again, where look, we're looking for him to grow. You're welcome, Irving. Looking for him to grow in this system in year 2, and hopefully he can be the quarterback that you guys have tried to prove me wrong over the past 4 years about.
And that's fair. See right there, and that's fair. No, I'm not. Again, the great one. Like I told you earlier, by no stretch of the imagination am I saying Tua is a finished product or he's at the level where we need him to be. All I'm at is I seen him again. You can win with Tua. That's all. You can definitely win with this guy. There's no more questions of me where I have to question, well, is Tua going to hold us back? Because I thought that's what.
All right. My bad. I got a phone call.
That's all good, man.
those 2 years prior, right? His first 2 years, I was like, man, this kid is holding us back. I didn't, like I said when Doug was on, I didn't care about the coaching, weapons, offensive line. I didn't care about none of that. It was all on Tua. But where I'm at this season, as long as Tua's on the field, and let's just play the game of 17 games, because that's what the league is, 17 games. If Tua plays 17 games, the Miami Dolphins are winning more games than they lose.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And that's a fact. That it's not going to be this 9-8, 10-6. No, it's going to be a 12-5, 13-4, something like that. And those 3 to 4 games we lose, I would say Tua struggles. But this is where I'm always at.
Hold on, shout out to Irvin Figueroa. Deep passes are characterized as 20 yards air per pass, a pass attempt, whatever.
Absolutely. Gotta love those crossing routes.
Thank you, Irvin.
I don't care how they come. I don't care.
Not to interrupt everybody, but I think Lewis, you know, there's also the possibility we lose because a couple people dropped important footballs. I mean, you know, there is that too.
That's why I never go to that color. Absolutely. I always say it averages out over a full season.
But I mean, what I mean is, though, he's right that, you know, Tua playing a full season is really paramount because, you know, even if what you're doing there is you're saying, okay, maybe he has a bad game. Maybe we lose a couple because of bad performances on his part or whatever. But maybe we also lose because of these other reasons. In other words, that becomes a real, you know, like non-exclusive. You know what I mean? Like if he's playing all games, if he misses 3 or 4, right? If he misses 3 or 4 games, it's too easy for anybody to blame all the other problems that might have caused us to lose games on him not being there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I just want to say one thing. I see all the Gator chatter. Listen, I'm not gonna address that right now because we're having a good conversation. But this Friday, I'm gonna have an open panel, so you can bring all that Gator smoke. This Friday, I'm gonna be here. So, but please continue.
We can have a civilized conversation about the Hurricanes if you like. It's you that cannot have a civilized conversation about the games.
How dare you? How dare you? I've said nothing but complimentary things about I can't say that with a straight face, sorry. But go ahead. Oh, man. But go ahead.
Talk is
God, I love you, shit. You are genuine, bro. I tell you what, man.
By the way, this Friday, tomorrow night, our own color commentary will be in the blender, and I'm gonna be. I have motivation to wake up early because I will be doing top of the tailgate with color. I'm gonna be substituting for Ali.
Right? That's tomorrow night, right? It's already Wednesday, right?
Yeah. I know the week flew by fast, man.
I'm telling you, I got to get ready. I got to get my lineup going on and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be on my toes tomorrow night.
That's what's up.
That's gonna be fun. I've been like anxious to get in the blender.
Yeah.
Just don't chop me up, you know.
All right.
I heard good results from people going in the blender.
That's what's up, Irving. Don't worry, man. Friday, I want you to come over Friday, bro. Friday, save that for Friday, bro. By the way, I'm going to be calling Gator games this season. So if you want to throw me
wait. You weren't talking to me, were you? Like we're scheduled Friday or Thursday?
No. Tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Friday is the open panel. So
I'll try not to make sure I take a nap tomorrow.
So,
you know, us old people, we tend to like sleep through important things, you know. We take a nap at the wrong time of the day.
But no, man, I think we're having pretty good conversation, man. No, you know what I mean? Everybody has a difference of opinion, and that's where we're at. I think that's where we should be at anyway. Is just because somebody has a different take doesn't make them wrong. At least not now. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're in the prediction stages.
To be right or wrong right now.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't happened. All I know is that Amicus, if you're listening, you're gonna owe $100.
And
that's money in the bank. That's money in the bank, Shake Money. That is money in the bank.
Has anybody gotten word that he's okay or not okay?
He's okay. Yeah, Big Philly said he's okay because Yeah, because he speaks to Big Philly, so.
Okay. Yeah, actually, he reached out to me on Twitter too, saying that he still listens and that I'm definitely not getting that $100. So he reached out. It is what it is. Listen, there's two things I learned from this conversation tonight so far. Is that now that we brought up Amicus is going to hold me $100, and Crypto's going to owe Great One DeVore 5 bags. So
yeah, 5 bags. Hey, you gotta get it right. 5 bags, kettle, salt and vinegar, potato chips. It don't matter what brand. I like that 7-Eleven brand, but I don't want that little bag. I want that big bag.
All right, here we go. Here we have a comment from my man CB83. The quarterback scheme and system driven position. QB is a scheme and system driven position. We saw Tua in a poor system, and he looked okay. He looked much better in McDaniel's system scheme. Makes a difference. So yeah, what he's trying to say is that. I mean, one of the things I agree to that is look at Mac Jones, right? Mac Jones under Josh McDaniel look. He was in the top 100 players the year before, you know. And all of a sudden, you put Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator, and fucking everybody's ready to trade him for a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree with you 1000%, Shake. There's like 2 or 3 games last year. One up in particular, there was like a fumble at the end of the game for the New England Patriots where they basically won the game. That's why I'm not ready to sign off.
That's the Raiders game. The Raiders game.
Thank you. It was the Raiders game. So
they try to do the Miami Miracle.
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell is that? Actually helped us in getting the playoffs, to be honest.
Yes, I'm not sold on the New England Patriots not being in this running for a playoff spot in the AFC East because of the fact that you just the addition of Bill O'Brien as the new offensive coordinator could definitely help Mac Jones in his development. And to be honest with you, I feel like Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Tua. I'm sorry.
Hey, by the way, another
Tread lightly now, great one.
And here's another one that I'm this is a hot take. All right. Okay. Look at Sam Darnold. He played under that trash ass coach Adam Gase. He played under Matt Rule. AKA looked like Ja Rule. You know, he looks. His name is Matt Rule, but he coaches like Ja Rule. Let's see how Sam Darnold is going to look under the tutelage of McDaniel. I mean, of Shanahan, because we all know if you can't look good under Kyle Shanahan like Josh Rosen, then you're not a good quarterback. That's 2 burns in one.
You know what? Shake?
Yeah. I also would like to supplement the great one's point up to the point where he said Mac Jones is better than Tua. I mean, I'm not gonna the jury's still out on that, but that might be because they're both bad. I don't know, but we'll see on that part. But the part about everybody pumping the brakes and realizing the Patriots are a little better off than they realize, and Mac Jones is the fact that in his rookie year, the New England Patriots under Josh McDaniel put up more 40-plus scoring games than any other team in the league, including 150 burger. And then they turned around and beat Buffalo without even throwing the ball more than 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know why people are so out on the Patriots, to be honest with you. I think Belichick is right on track in his rebuild without Brady.
Hey, Color.
And I'm going to make the same prediction I did last year and put that. I'm going to make the same prediction I did last year. Maybe I was a year behind, but I'm going to make the same prediction. They finished second in our division, no matter where everybody else lands.
Bring up Finn's take.
That's where my money's at.
Finn's take comment real quick. Bring that.
By the way,
up.
hold on. Before we do that, Reality wants to has a question for you. Where was Jerome Baker versus the Bills in the 4th quarter when the Bills ran the ball down our throats? Who do you want now?
Huh? He was at the same spot that Tyreek was on that 4th and 2 that he dropped the ball. That's where he was.
Now,
that's exactly where Jerome Baker was. He was standing on the sideline watching Tyreek drop that first down.
Which one? Who do you want to bring
yeah,
up?
He was in that same one, right?
Who do you want me to bring
this one
up?
was CB83. Get after him.
Yeah,
get after him.
That's the one right there. Question for everybody. How many playoff games has Tua played in?
That would be 0. Great one.
How many playoff games has Mac Jones played in?
I believe it's 1.
The same number as Skylar Thompson.
Same amount as Skylar.
Thank you. So anywhere with Tua in playoffs, I don't want to hear because Mac Jones played in one already. Yeah, he got his ass whooped in the snow by the Buffalo Bills, but it's his first season in the playoffs compared to Tua. So there's nothing to talk about, Finn's take.
Are you telling me that Mac Jones is on par with Skylar? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that Mac Jones played in a playoff game and Tua did not. Just like I said, hey, this would not be a good panel.
On par with Skylar or not.
This would not be a good panel because I know Shake brought up Adam Gase. This would not be a good panel if we didn't get into Adam Gase. Just like Adam Gase made it to the playoffs and Brian Flores didn't, and everybody wants to make excuses for Brian Flores why he didn't make it to the playoffs. But I want to also remind everybody in that 2017 season under Adam Gase, we played 16 straight games with no bye week. And we played.
Didn't make the playoffs.
How many?
And didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs in that neither.
And didn't make the playoffs.
See the difference. The difference between Adam Gase and Brian Flores is Brian Flores took a trash team and built it up, versus Gase took a playoff team ready and took it to the dumpster. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. That's the reason. That's the reason. That's the reason. No, that's the reason why Brian Flores had to throw the team away because Adam Gase didn't take that shit to hell.
How did they a playoff team if they didn't go to the playoffs the year prior? Adam Gase got there.
That's why Philman got fired, bro. Because Philman got fired because he underperformed. That's
not his problem. That's not.
Yeah, that team was ready to go, bro. So you trying to make excuse for that space case, Adam Gase.
My point.
That fucking smelling salt motherfucker for the Jets.
So how are you going to say Philman couldn't get the team?
Now you about to get me out of character, Greg. God damn it!
But you said that. But you said Philman couldn't take.
You about to make me the Rabid Dolphin.
You said Philman couldn't take the team to the playoffs. So what did Adam Gase do? Uplift the team, and he took the team to the playoffs.
Yeah, and
that
he
team carried Adam Gase to the playoffs.
He uplifted the team and got their ass whooped in Pittsburgh. Come on now.
Without our starter quarterback.
Yeah, then after the 2 years, bro, that team took a nosedive right into the dumpster, bro.
Wait a minute. Like I told you, if you don't
and listen,
you're not winning.
And here's the thing, he won the Jets the first overall pick. Well, actually, he couldn't even do that right.
I'm not even going to speak on the Jets. That's a totally different situation. We talk about
what does numbers look like in New York?
Dude, Adam Gase can't even win as a head coach at a high school, bro.
There were some things in New York. Adam Gase had to take the blame for. I'm not going to speak on that right now. But as far as the Miami Dolphins is concerned, the Dolphins went to the playoffs in 2016. 2017, we played 16 straight games. I believe they didn't make
the playoffs. And then the year that we got a freaking.
Hold on, Shake. Let me put down the credentials. Okay. It was 8 away games, and then not to mention we did not have our starting quarterback going into the season. A lot of people want to sit back and give him flack for the Jay Cutler thing, but who else were you going to get into that room for us to be able to be
anybody other than Cutler?
But here's the thing, though. So the argument was back then. It was a lot of Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was not coming here. And the next guy up was going to be Matt Moore. We saw what Matt Moore is. He's just a guy that has that was a low expectation guy. He can come in there and win you a couple games, but he ain't a 16 game starter. And so it just came down to Cutler, where you can commend Adam Gase for bringing in the Cutler for him experimenting with that for us to actually try to get us back on to where we was at in 2016. And
the man was not interested in playing football
all I know is
he was just saying you'll get some man at the TV booth to play football that's not even interested.
All I know is 2 weeks. Hey, listen.
He'd been better off to getting Stuart Scott.
Hey, listen. All I know is 2 weeks under Adam Gase. Adam Gase, that linebacker from Pittsburgh, tried to hitchhike back to Pittsburgh.
That was who?
Timmons.
Oh, Lawrence Timmons.
Yeah, he tried to hitchhike back to Pittsburgh. He's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
I just stay on mute. You see, when I don't know things about conversations, I just put myself on mute because I'm still trying to figure out who the hell is CB83, right? I don't know that dude. And it's Adam Gase dude y'all talking about. Who's that? I don't know. I don't even know Adam Gase. Where
apparently he's the best coach in the Dolphins' history. He's better than Don Shula, apparently.
Is Adam Gase still coaching? Where's he at right now? Where's Adam Gase? Has anyone seen him?
Matt Moore was my guy.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hey, he's being blackballed right now.
Who's that?
Hey, great one. I have a feeling Adam Gase is the one that's gonna be handing Crypto them 5 bags he owes you. That's what he's doing right now. He's behind the cash register right now, cashing out chips.
Hey, by the way, hey, Lewis, as you can tell by the conversation we're having, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation.
We've had this conversation millions of times.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
Hey, a lot of these people in the chat, when the Dolphins was 3-0 in 2018, they shit was screaming up and down. Yeah, the Dolphins are the best team in the AFCs. Go Gaze.
We did get off to a good start,
and then
I was kind of disappointed.
And then what happened? Josh Sitton got hurt, and then Tunsil got hurt. That's what happened. So, yes, injuries happen all the time. But at the end of the day, people don't give Gaze enough credit.
Yeah, what happened to them after the Miami Miracle? He collapsed like a.
Does he deserve credit?
A cheap phone lawn chair.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me address one thing at a time. Crypto said, does he deserve credit? Yes, he does. Like I told Lewis, every time you go to that Hard Rock Stadium, I want you to look up to your wherever you're looking at, closest to the rafters where it shows playoff berth, and it says 2016 Miami Dolphins. And
listen,
think about
Adam Gase deserves that.
The coach.
Adam Gase deserves that playoff win. Like who's that? John, who's that? Gruden deserves that playoff. The credit
that
for
Super
the
Bowl
Super
win.
Bowl. Yeah, when he took over a good team already. That team was set. That Gase took over.
Hey, we're not playing that game because we could say that all the time.
The team was already set.
We want to say about Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors, but we know who built that team. But still,
Mark Jackson did.
All right, man. But Kerr's gonna go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. So I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, he will eventually.
We're not. No, he is. He is. Kerr's one of the greatest coaches.
Nah, yeah, all right. You're right. He will.
No, he is. But yeah, we could do this back and forth with John. At the end of the day, he got this dog, and that's all that matters.
A hand.
Well, I ain't got a ring on me right now, but this dog.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's been fun, man. We about to close this up because we had the 2-hour mark. Hey man, any final thoughts and what? And I trust me, we definitely got to do this more often, bro. Like I told you before, man, mi casa su casa, bro. I've always appreciate the fact that you allowed me to jump on the Not for Debate podcast, and that's something that I will never forget, and I always appreciate you for that.
Most definitely, Shake. I appreciate you guys having me. Love chopping it up with you guys, especially the Tua conversation. It's definitely going to be another big season for the Miami Dolphins, baby. And I love to burst people's bubbles, especially in the chat, that just be so delusional. Be like, look at this guy. What is he talking about? Hence the name, controversial. Get it right. But appreciate you guys having me on here. You see I'm rocking the Tua jersey. So,
yeah, man.
Hey, I went out and spent my money. It's not the player, it's the team, y'all.
Facts.
There you go.
By the way, I couldn't agree with H a lot more. It's just football talk. Reality, nothing serious. Exactly. Nothing serious. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Crypto, any last words before we're out of here?
Great one. Once again, Shake. Appreciate it. Been a pleasure being invited up to the panel once again.
Oh, shit. You know you're like a permanent fixture now, man. So
nice chopping it up. The homie Lewis. Passing out honorary aprons and the great one, Devore. I'm looking for my popcorn. I will have the triple mix with caramel, with gourmet caramel, so get it ready.
I'm a real this. So let's go ahead. Put the bet on the table. Put your thing on the table right now. That's what I want for the people that came in here late.
I got to adjust my numbers a little bit. I'm not going to put the bet out there yet. I'm not ready right now. I got to get the final numbers, what I'm going to predict. Those numbers I threw out there is just the ballpark.
Lewis, he said 750. He said 750 for.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. Nah, No, you moonwalking right. You moonwalking right now, Crypto.
Well, okay. Right if I said 750,
moonwalking right now, Crypto. Tighten up.
Moonwalking.
Wait a minute.
Worry, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right,
hey, Crypto. This thing is recorded, bro. We got it on wax.
You know, I know. I don't care about that. Baby. You know, I don't give a damn about no recording.
Hey, by the way, listen. Hold on. Before, because I want something, because this is the last 10 minutes of the show. Because I'm gonna clip this real quick before we finish this. I want you to get this on wax. Who's gonna have more touchdown, Tua or Mac Jones? I'm gonna clip this, by the way, and then I'm gonna replay this at the end of the season. Oh yeah, I know how to clip now. So go ahead.
That's Tua all day.
Uno's getting more touchdowns at the
end of the season. After we end this, I'm gonna clip it right away.
Is this regardless of how many games played, or are we getting a caveat of games, or what? Actually, or everybody's playing all the games?
I'm gonna put the wild card. I'm taking Mac. Give me Mac.
Okay. Because I got Tua throwing much touchdowns.
Tua end up with less and he plays less games. Do we still throw that in there though?
It don't matter. It don't matter. I don't care how many games he played. You put that into consideration too. They over here confident Tua gonna play 17 games. I know I'm gonna put my feet on the table. Mac is gonna play every single game this season.
All right. So okay. So you think Mac Jones?
Pressure's on Mac.
So Lewis says Tua.
I got Uno. Crypto. You damn right.
I say Tua. Who do you got, Crypto?
I'll say by default it's Tua, because of our offense is more dynamic than theirs, and we pass it more than they do.
No, it ain't more dynamic. It's not more dynamic.
They got Devontae Parker over there, Crypto. Do you know?
Stop it. That's the main reason why Tua's gonna win this bet, because Devontae, look who they throwing the ball to.
Crypto, listen. As of today, I was reading a report coming out of New England. Them hamstrings look strong right about now in New England. Them hamstrings look strong on Devontae.
By the way,
they could be strong right now when it's 80 degrees outside. They could be 80 degrees in December.
Hey, Crypto, I'm just gonna put it out there. They got Hunter Henry out there. They got Mike Gesicki out there. So
I'm looking at about 30
don't forget Devontae Parker. By the way, shout out to Dolphins for Life. Shake, September 7, 2013, December 31, 2004, September 6, 2003, September 7, 2002, January 2nd, 2001, September 5th, 1987, September 6, 1986. Canes up. Lewis, give Dalvin what he wants. Stop the cap. Dolphins for Life. Much appreciated. I don't know what those dates are, but I appreciate you. You know your dates and your history. So got nothing but love for you, even though you hate me.
I'm not giving Dalvin Cook what he wants.
What are those dates, by the way? Does anybody know what those dates are?
What he wants. What's that look like? 15 million?
I believe he's talking about the Miami Hurricanes seasons or championships. One of the two, Shake.
Okay, cool. So, Cully, you want in on this?
Well, it can't be championships because they were all September. It sounds maybe like possibly the last few bunch of meetings between us and the Gators, maybe, I would guess.
Probably.
Oh, there you go. That's a good point.
But no, who do you got? Tua or for most touchdowns next year?
We all know Color got
Tua or Mac Jones or Tua or Tua or the
no, Tua Mac Jones. Tua or Mac Jones. That's what the conversation is.
I don't know. Bill O'Brien probably will like to have him toss the ball around quite a bit, but I just think, head to head, if we're talking about a full season from Tua, then I would imagine he'd be on track to throw more touchdowns, being he has a higher touchdown percentage. So more attempts, more touchdowns, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Tua have more attempts, and Tua has the receiving core to make sure more of those balls get caught. So.
For the record, they have a better running back than us.
That's what I was saying, Tyler.
They what?
They have a better running back than us.
You guys can't talk at once. What do they have better than us?
Oh, my bad. Running back. They have a better running back than us.
I don't know.
Oh, they running backs are collectively better than ours, you saying?
I know it is, my brother. Nothing but love for you, Irving.
Better running
Real talk.
I mean, they do have a strong running game. I'll give them that.
Hey, by the way, man, Irving, I gotta have you on one of these panels. Man, one thing about Irving, I like about Irving is the fact that he's very he's well thought and well versed in his takes, and I like he's very thorough in his takes, just like you know what I'm saying. So I always love to hear when Irving talks, especially about football. He's very thorough.
Yeah. He's very thorough, and I agree. His football takes are usually on point. So I mess with Irving. But, bro, Irving needs to learn how to land the damn plane. He needs to learn how to land the damn plane, though.
Actually, I don't care about the plane. He just needs
to. We're gonna give him a best.
He needs to fly a better. He needs to fly a better airplane. He needs a better mic. Holy crap!
We're gonna give him a better. Yeah, exactly.
All I know, Irving's in the air for a long time. I don't know where that flight's going, but he's just in the air for a long time. You gotta give me the cliff notes. You know what I'm saying? Just a couple cliff notes.
Listen, it's an international flight. Come on, it's an international flight. It's an international flight, bro.
It's more like an Amelia Earhart flight.
You need to learn how to land the plane.
Yeah. All I need is some cliff notes. Yeah, great one. That's all I need, bro. Just throw some cliff notes at me, bro. I'm good. You know?
He got up in his 2-seater and they never found him. They never saw him again. He just tried to fly around the world and nobody knows what happened to him.
Oh man!
All right, man.
They got to find that black box for Irving.
Irving saying he flies a 767, man. I don't know, man. Now I get it. You know what I mean?
So anyway, I'm gonna clip this after this. So anyway, we gonna end this joint. Crypto. Any last thoughts? What was the thing you were gonna tell DeVore? Because it sounds like you're about to give him a bunch of chips.
Yeah, I was about to get ready and drop him my address so he can bring those popcorn over, so I can bring it on over. Special delivery, man. Don't go through UPS or the FedEx or the postal service.
Yeah, he knows. Crypto should know.
You got to bring him hand delivery. Goddammit.
Nah, Crypto, nah.
Right.
Nah. Your ass is getting in your car. You drive it to me and give me my chips. And I'm going to enjoy it in 5 bags and enjoy that look on your face when you give it to me too.
and I'm gonna have you up on here eating them.
I'll be like, oh, this what Crypto look like? All right, cool. Give my bags.
Actually, you want to know what Crypto looks like? Just Google a picture of Tim Hardaway. There you go. That's what he looks like.
I mean, he does. I ain't gonna lie. He does look like Tim Hardaway. But hey, Shake, before we close this thing out, I just again want to throw a special shout out to the 2 special guests of the night. First, DDW, Dudley Do Wrong, man. Shout out to the homie for coming through. And then also Great One again. When Great One starts talking about this coach I've never heard of and some of his Tua takes, I'm lost, but I really do appreciate when Great One does come through. Because again, sure. It's great conversation. So I just wanted to shout out those 2 gentlemen. Also, Crypto, you already know. Color, you already know. But as far as the guests, man, I appreciate you.
And by the way, one more time for Dolphins for Life, I appreciate the love and for the super chats. Lewis is the GOAT, but I'm ready to cook his behind. That's what's up.
Look, man, there's only one dude in this goddamn community with his own apron, and that's me, Shake. All right. So I don't know about who's cooking who. I just know I hand out aprons. Don't worry, Great One. When Crypto goes over to give you your 5 bags, man, I'm gonna make sure he has an apron for you as well. Autographs.
Why would I do that? Because I'm gonna send it right back to him. I told you I'm selling it. I need about 5%. He worked for the post office. Shoot, he can save me delivery fee.
Oh man.
Right.
With that being said, man, hey, good night. Hey, like I said, this Friday night is the open drive time open, the Fins Tailgate open panel. Saturday night, we're going to be doing the top 100 Dolphin players. We're going to do 100 through 50, and then following week, we're going to go 50 through 100. 50 through 1. So y'all have a good night. And with that being said, and don't forget tomorrow on Larry K's channel, our very own color commentary will be in the blender. So with that being said, man, good night and fins up.
Shout out to Color.